As so many of us try to avoid hurt, pain in our lives, we forget who we're trying to protect. Who are we truly trying to protect? Is it us? Nah, it's that inner child. It's that inner child that lives inside each one of us who is still crying out, still begging for a hug, for love of their mother, love of their father, love of someone. For someone to put their arms around you and tell you, I love you. It's going to be okay. I'm proud of you. For you to hear those words that make your heart feel warm, that make you feel safe, feel protected, feel like you achieved something in life. So many of us walk through life trying to protect the inner child because our deepest fear is not betrayal. It's not the fact that someone's going to lie to us, someone's going to cheat on us, but we may never hear those words from our loved one. We may never feel that comfort, that feel of a hug. We may never feel that warmth of blood going through our bodies as we tremble after our loved one tell us, I'm proud of you. You achieved something. You're successful. I love you. So many of us, so many people out there buried mothers and fathers without ever hearing those words. With unfinished business. With heaviness still on their heart. With bitterness still in their soul. Because they never felt it. They never felt that love from their parent. And they never could understand why their parent never gave them that love. Why he never said I love you. Why he never embraced you. Why did your father never tell you I'm proud of you. It didn't matter that you hit the game-winning shot. It didn't matter you hit the game-winning home run. It didn't matter that you scored the game-winning touchdown. Your father never said he's proud of you. And no matter what you did, no matter how much success you had, you never managed to be good enough to hear those words. So many women out here never heard their mom tell them, I love you. Tell them that you're beautiful. Tell them that you're worthy of love, happiness, joy, to accomplish everything that you want. No, so many women growing up right now, living their lives right now, never hearing their mom say, you're worth more than a diamond. You're more beautiful. You shine brighter than any diamond, the biggest diamond. That you're flawless. Despite any flaws, mistakes that you made in your life, you're truly flawless. You deserve the best. So many women going through life, never hearing, I love you. And it's causing unrest inside of us. Causes uneasiness inside of us that we're going through life with trauma of never hearing these words. We're going through life with trauma of being abused, mistreated, feeling unwanted, unloved. And that child inside of us cry out every single day, every moment. Crying out for that hug. It pops his head out in the moments where you least expect it to. See, you sitting there arguing with your husband or your wife and you wonder why, your childish behavior is bursting out. See, it's the child that lives inside you. It's that inner child that lives inside you that's steadily trying to get out. You wonder why you're so creative and that you can do some of these great things you do. You're so good at creating music. You're so good at sewing. You're so good at doing hair. You're so good at drawing. You're so good at art. And it's that inner child in you attempting to get out, to find its way out, to show you that it still exists. It's still looking for approval. It's still looking for love. You wonder why when you go in the bathroom late at night in the dark, you won't look in the mirror and say Candyman or Bloody Mary. It's that inner child in you. It still has that fear. The inner child in you, wherever you are, wherever you grew up, it still lives there. She or he still lives deep inside you. And what are you doing, people? You're protecting the inner child with everything you have in you. Because when you look in the mirror and you look at yourself on the most saddest days, you see that child. You still can feel that child's pain. You still feel the hurt from that beating. You still feel the hurt from that neglect. You still can feel it when you look in your mother's eyes and you just looked at her and you hope that she told you on Easter Sunday that you had your prettiest dress on, your prettiest shoes. When you had that bow in your hair, you just look for her to tell you that you looked pretty because those words just meant everything to you. I mean, it would have meant everything to you. It would have meant more to you anyone else telling you you're pretty. Of course, throughout your life, many people told you pretty. Many men have told you pretty. Many of your friends, your aunts, maybe your grandmother told you pretty. But you crave a different type of love. You crave a different type of feeling. You crave those words hearing from your mother, but you never heard her say it. To this day. Maybe your mother's not here anymore. Maybe she's still here. And no matter what you do, even on your prettiest day, when you feel the most beautiful, she can't see it. Or at least you don't think she can see it because she never say those words. Maybe you as a young man, you're a man now. You're going to be a successful man. And you still looking for your father to just tell you, just put his arms on your shoulder, put his hand on your shoulder and tell you, son, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for the man you become. I'm proud of you because you overcame the odds. I'm proud of you because you became a better man than me. I'm proud of you because even though life threw every curveball at you that's possible, you still overcame them. You hit them balls out the park. You still hit a home run, even though the deck was stacked against you. Even though you was dealt a bad hand, you played that hand to the best of your ability and you still won. I'm proud of you, son. I mean, of course, many people have told you that they're proud of you. Maybe your employers told you proud of you. Maybe your uncles told you. Maybe your best friends. Your wife told you that she's proud of you. But see, it still don't have that same feeling. It don't pack that same feeling as hearing your father tell him that you're proud of you. And the greatest thing is when you look in your parents' face and you see a disappointment. It takes you right back to a child, don't it? And you wonder why when you go to work, and manager or co-worker, when they say something slick to you, you respond the way you do. You wonder why you got that chip on your shoulder the size of a gold nugget. You wonder why you walking around with this chip on your shoulder just waiting for somebody to push it off. You remember when you was a kid, we used to put a stick on our shoulders and you push it off and you start fighting? You wonder why you walking around with that chip on your shoulder, wonder why you're always on edge, ready to jump on and fight anybody that come across your path, because you're fighting to protect the inner child in you who is still vulnerable to any type of attack, any type of criticism, because any type of criticism bring you back to childhood when you was criticized as a woman, being told that you're too fat, that you're not pretty enough, no matter what type of dress you on, no matter how much weight you lose, that you're not skinny enough, that you're told that you're not smart enough, that you're not good enough. So anytime someone tried to even remotely test the perimeter to tell you that you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, it brings you back to that inner child. And you got to protect that inner child. You got to protect them against every attack that's coming your way, because that child is still vulnerable. That child still lives there. And if you look into a person's eyes right now, you can see that child. You can see that child crying to get out, crying to be free. Crying to be free of the burdens that it's still restricted behind, because it's still holding behind that pain. But today, people, I hope that I can free someone. And I'm trying to free you by helping you to understand. See, because many of us, we get mad at our parents, like I said. Many of us live with bitterness towards our mother or fathers. And I know what the Bible says, honor thy mother and father, or our days will be long. But sometimes we look at our mothers and fathers like, how do I honor someone who disrespects me, even as a grown adult, disrespects me? How do I honor someone who comes to my house and criticizes my house for being dirty, no matter how clean it is, criticizes my cooking, no matter how good it is? How do I honor someone who constantly sits here and disrespect me and feel that they can disrespect me because they are my mother and father, feel they can talk down on me, they can belittle me because they're my mother and father, and I'm supposed to take it? And how do I protect that inner child in me, people? You walk into your pastors, your mentors, you asking them, when they tell you, oh, honor thy mother and father, honor them, you looking at them like, yo, how am I supposed to honor someone who's disrespecting me? How am I supposed to honor someone who's not loving me, who don't care for me? How are you going to tell me this when you don't see the child that lives inside me that's begging to fight back, is tired of being vulnerable, tired of being attacked? How do you tell me to embrace this child and sit there and turn the other cheek and let it keep getting smacked? How do you do that, people? Tell me, how do you do it? You got to go down to the basement of understanding. People. You have to understand the purpose in the child that lives inside of our mother and our fathers. See, that's the issue where we miss. See, we get so entangled in the inner child in us that we forget that other people have inner childs that's begging to get out too, that's crying for the same love and affection we have. See, I constantly have this conversation with people. See, people come to me and, talk to people when they talk about how their mother, just won't tell them they love them, and how the mistreatment comes, and their mother don't spend time with them, they don't visit them, they can't have that relationship, that connection. It's just not there. No matter how hard you try, The connection's just not there. But inside, outside, as the adult in you tell you, I don't care about that relationship. That's the adult in you. The adult in you tell you like, yo, I don't care about the relationship. I don't care about the relationship with my mother and father. I ain't worried about that. I'm over it. That's what the adult in you said. But see, the child in you says, hey, but it would feel good though. If my mom just grabbed me and she just hugged me, because in my mother's arms is like the safest, warmest place in the world. And if she could just hug me and tell me she loves me, everything will be okay. No boogeyman can get me. Nothing can hurt me. Not a relationship, your husband cheating, losing your job, losing your house, your cars, your bank account being wiped out. Nothing can hurt you when I'm in my mom's arms and she's hugging me and saying she loves me. And she says I'm beautiful. I will feel like the most beautiful woman in the world if she did that. And a lot of you women feel that way, but see, you don't understand. You gotta get to the basement. You gotta go to the basement to see that inside your mother lives a child that lives deep inside her, that she buried deep inside her too. That she buries because that's her way of protecting the child inside her. See, because somewhere deep inside her, she didn't feel that love, that compassion from her mother. She didn't feel that love and compassion from her parents. And inside her, because that void, that holes inside her, she don't know how to give love. She don't know what love is. She falls back from a hug because that hug feels so unfamiliar. It feels so foreign to her. You ever had somebody try to bring something to you that's foreign, try to feed you something that you never ate before, come with a bowl of guacamole, and you looking at this guacamole, and it's green, they got this other stuff in there, and they're like, yo, try this. You're like, yo, no, I don't want to try that, because it's foreign to you. It's something you've never had before. So when someone, your parents, your mother, when you come up to her looking for embracement, looking for that love, looking for that compassion, she said to you like, oh, no, what you try to hug me? What you try to fight me? Back up, back up. No, that's not how I show love. I show tough love. It's because she protected that child inside her. That child inside her doesn't know love. It doesn't know compassion. So it doesn't know how to give you the compassion, the love that you desire, that you crave for. It's not that they don't want to give it to you. They don't know how to give it to you. See, the love that they experience, and you got to think about people, different generations, different times. The love they experienced was tough love. It was tough love because their parents may have felt like, look, I have to raise you a certain way to deal with the outside world. The outside world is dangerous. It's hurtful. It's painful. I have to prepare you for the outside world. So my way of preparing you for the outside world is not giving you love, because if I give you love, you're going to feel vulnerable. If I tell you you're pretty, you may think that you're conceited, and you might go outside here thinking that you're the most beautiful woman in the world. Your hair all swole, and then somebody's going to pop that bubble when they tell you and remind you you're not as beautiful as you thought you was. But see, that's the way your mother was taught, and your mother was raised that way. So your mother is conditioned to think, the child inside your mother is conditioned to think that by giving love, I'm hurting you, I'm destroying you, I'm setting you up for failure by giving you love. So what is that mother doing? Oh, what that mother doing? That child grows into be a woman, and that woman is conditioned to still feel this way. So when she becomes a woman and she has a child, she's teaching her child the same way. So when you come to your mother after scraping your knee, the boy at the playground hurt you, you come to your mother and you want her to embrace you. You want her to hug you when you wake up from a nightmare because you're scared. And she tell you, go back to bed, toughen up. You looking like, what's happening? And then you grow up craving that love, like, oh man, my mom tells me she loves it. It's like food for my soul. Oh my gosh, it will make me feel so whole. It make me feel so good, but you never receive it and you never understand why. So like I said, you grow up with that bitterness, that hurt in your heart because you're looking at your mother and you're looking for it and you're begging for that pain, but it's never coming. It's never going to come. And there's so many people, your mother dies. And you don't have that conversation with your mother because, see, you're scared if you talk to your mother about how you feel that you're going to come across as being disrespectful to your mother. Because how do you come to your mother, you tell her, like, yo, mom, you never told me I was beautiful. You never told me you loved me. You never hugged me. Your mother's like, yeah, I hugged you. Remember when you graduated and I hugged you and put my arm around you? But no, mom, I mean, you hugged me. I mean, the type of hug, you know that hug, people. You know that hug when you get hugged and you just feel the love. The energy transfers from that person to you. You can feel it. It's not the words that they say. It's the energy transferring them to you when you feel the exchange of love coming from one person to another. Some parents feel like, well, you never needed me, so I didn't feel like, you needed my love. You needed my compassion. You needed me to tell you that I was beautiful. You always been strong. You always stood up on your own feet. You always stood. Look at you now. Look at you as a woman. Look at you. You're your wife. You got children. You're successful. You don't need me to tell you I love you. You don't need me to tell you that you're beautiful. Your husband tells you you're beautiful all the time. You don't need that. But you're looking at this little girl, but that little girl when you do need it. That little girl when that woman needs to hear, Mom, I love you. I'm proud of you. They need to hear you can accomplish anything. You are beautiful. Because on their worst days, it don't matter if their husband tells them they're beautiful. They need it from mom. They need that reassurance. But some parents can't give it to you. Because inside them, they're trying to protect their child that may never feel the same love. But I'm going to tell you, we're going to get to it though, people. We're going to get to what you need to do though. We're going to get to it. We're just going to cook it up. We're still cooking, people. We're still cooking. Now, I know it's hurting. I know some of y'all probably got tears in your eyes, but we're going to get to it, people. We still cooking on how we're going to fix this. Because we're going to fix this before it's over. We're going to fix it. Some of these men out here, when we hear a lot of women talk about grown men growing up and they don't know how to be men, they don't know how to change tires, and they don't know how to do this, and they don't know how to treat a woman, they don't know how to respect the woman. And a lot of times it's because, we grew up in an era where men were truly men. Sometimes, and that's a confusing term right there, because, there's an interesting balance in dynamic, in dimension when we talk about when men were or weren't men. Because, growing up, the man used to be, he goes out, he works hard, 2-3 jobs, come home, bring the bread home, feed the family. He could change the tire. Men were men, they worked at steel factories. They had real jobs. They didn't work behind computers and stuff. I'm not saying it's not a real job, people. I'm not saying that. But they got their hands dirty. They came home, they were real gritty. They were men. You go back to good times. James type of man. He was a man, he was a father, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Uncle Phil was a real father. They was stern, they was strong, they made you feel something when they talked to you. And that was the man. But unlike these TV shows, these men that come home, they came home with a level of bitterness even in their heart. Hurt. Because you got to think about the era that they grew up in. I'm not making excuses. I'm breaking it down to you, people. They grew up in a situation where they went to work. They were chastised. They were chastised a lot by their employers. Whether it was women, white people was chastising for the black people. They were chastised at work. So when they go home, they didn't feel like a man. All day, you getting chastised and you don't feel like a man. When you get home, what you do is you want to throw your weight around a little bit. You're dealing with the pain and hurt from the day. A lot of people tell you, wash away that. Don't bring your problems from work home. Don't bring your home life to work. But it's very hard to do that. So when you get home, your heart is hardened because the world that you experience outside your house hardens your heart as a man. So when you get home to your son, you want to make your son hard. You know what I'm talking about? You want to make him hard. You want to make him rock solid so that he doesn't experience the pain, so that the world doesn't penetrate his skin, get to his heart and hurt him like that man, your father, was hurt. So what they do is they toughen you up. They toughen you up by not telling you that they're proud of you too early. I know you came home and you gave it your best on the football field and you came just a little bit short. I can't tell you I'm proud of you for that. I know you came out there and you hit the game-winning shot, but I can't tell you I'm proud of you. Because I get that you won the Little League Championship, but you're not in the NBA yet. And the odds of you getting to the NBA are very high. So I don't want to pump your head up to make you think that you can achieve something that you may not be able to. I don't want you to give this false sense of hope that sends you out in the world to think you can accomplish something that you may not. So what they do is they harden your heart. Your fathers harden your heart to prepare you for the potential that failure is lurking around that corner waiting for you. So they harden your heart and they tell you be a man because when you go out here, you can't expose your feelings. You cannot expose your feelings to women. You cannot expose your feelings because once you expose your feelings, you become vulnerable. If I tell you I'm proud of you, you may think that too much of yourself. If I give you too much love, if I sit here and comfort you too much, if I let you cry and tell me how you feel, then I'm going to make you vulnerable so you go out into the world and you're going to be hurt by the world because we know what the world's waiting for you. We know what's waiting around that corner for you because I experience it every single day. That's what the way your father's thinking. That's the way your father was raised. So we can't tell you that. But as you being a man right now, You thinking to yourself, well, Dad, when I won the Little League championship, I know that I might not make it to the NBA. I accepted that I might not make it to the NBA. But I still want you to tell me I was proud of you, Dad. Because I put a lot of work in that jump shot. When I hit that game-winning shot, Dad, you don't remember when we was out in the backyard? You don't remember when I was in the park and when they turned the lights out in the park, I was still out there shooting in the dark, Dad? I was preparing for that one moment, Dad. It didn't have nothing to do with the NBA. It was that one moment in the game that I hit that shot in front of you. And I did that, all that work, not because I was trying to get to NBA, Dad. I was doing all that work just because I wanted you to say, I'm proud of you, son. Good job. Because that meant more to me than any MVP trophy. It meant more to me than the MVP. It meant more to me than the NBA. It meant more to me than the championship. Dad, I just wanted to hear you say I was proud of you. But I never heard those words. I never did that. I fell short of hearing those words from you. I know that you didn't want me to be vulnerable, Dad, because I understand you get chastised at work. I get it, the world treats you like crap. But I wanted you to hear me, Dad. I wanted to be able to cry to you, Dad, because you know, little Susie may have broke your heart, or you may have scraped your knees or fell on your bike, and all I wanted you to do was hold me and tell me it's all right, son. I didn't want to hear it toughen up. I wanted you to hear, son, it's okay. Because at some point in my life, Dad, yes, failure is going to be lurking around the corner. Yes, disappointment is going to happen. Yes, I'm going to fail at something. But I want you to look at me and tell me, reassure me that even though I fail, I might come up short on some of my goals, that it's okay. I'm not a loser. I'm still a winner. That you're still proud of me for being the man I am because I gave the best I was able to give and I did the best I'm able to do. So I need that love. Give it to me. And that inner child in you still craves it. And you may never get it. You may never get it from your parent because your father may not understand it. But here's the grand conclusion, people. You ready for all this stuff? Then we got all this jambalaya of pain, hurt, all in the pot. It's all cooking up. It's simmering. Now we're going to get to the grand finale of how do we overcome this, people. We have to take that inner child in us. And we have to take that inner child in us and we have to take that inner child out. And we got to look at our children from the perspective of the inner child in us. And let that inner child in us look in the eyes of our current children, of our current daughters, our current sons. And we got to look in them our eyes. And we have to get to their situation. We got to get down to their level for a moment. And we have to relate to them in the pain that they may be feeling, what they're looking for. Because your daughter right now, well, my ladies out there, your daughter right now, I promise you, she might have a little sassy mouth. She might have a little attitude. I get it. But she wants to hear that she's beautiful from you, mothers. She wants to feel that energy exchange when you tell her you love her. She needs it. She needs it. Fathers, I know it. I know, your son is getting on your nerves, frustrating you. Look, my son, man, he act like he don't listen. I try to talk to him and, and I try to sit here and talk to him about life and try to inspire him and talk about strong work ethic and what he can accomplish. I know he don't listen and I get frustrated. But we as fathers, me included, we can't give up on our sons. We got to keep telling them how proud we are for the smallest accomplishments. Hey, they come home with A, we got to cheerlead the A. I know we talk about what is it called? None of those trophies just for participation trophies. I know we don't talk about participation trophies, but we do have to not only push our children to be great, our sons to be great. We don't have to push them to only be hard. We have to push them where they're able to relate and understand that life isn't all about being hard. Life is sometimes about being adjusted. We have to remember to tell our sons that we love them, even if we didn't feel it. Even if we may never hear that we're proud, our dad's proud of us, our dad loves us. We got to look into our children and say, yo, I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm here to protect you. I'm going to put my arms around you and put a Band-Aid on your knee. You fall on your bike, I'm going to help you fix your bike. Because there's more to life than passing on your trauma, your pain, your hurt. And if you truly want to save, protect that inner child in you, the best way to truly protect them is not confronting your past, but actually embracing your present and your future. And your present and your future is your relationship with your children, is your present, and your future is a relationship your children is going to have with your grandchildren. You have to pass on that love. The love that you wasn't given, break the trend, break the cycle, break that family curse, break the hate, the hurt that you're feeling, break the bitterness, and put all that love that you wanted inside your children. Pull all that love that you hope that you was going to get inside your daughter, inside your sons, and embrace them and make them feel powerful. Lift them up to tell them, even if you don't make it to NBA, shoot for the moon, because you will fall amongst the stars if you fail to hit it. Don't limit your children because you were limited. Don't limit yourself. Fight for that inner child in you. Keep that inner child alive in you by keeping that child inside your children living. Keep that light living. So when they grow up, they're not struggling to fight against and protect their inner child. They letting and learning to live, people. And you can learn to live and be great. If you learn to let go of bitterness, hurt, and pain in your feelings, and learn to love and appreciate your children. I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of Past and Present Podcast. I'm your host, Alan the Great. Remember to like, comment, share this video. Fight for the inner child. Let go of that bitterness and pain. Remember, it's okay to forgive your mother, your father. Forgive them, people. Forgive them. Learn to love and give happiness and peace and joy to your children. Give life into your children so the inner child in you can live on. I want to thank you. Until next time I talk to you, people, I only got one thing left to say, y'all. Stay tuned, stay woke, stay focused.